Just so you know, too, I will be recording today's session just so that we have a lot of folks that register for these events and then they cannot attend. So we always record them, and then as a follow-up, you'll receive a link to the recording along with a link to the slide deck as well. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Again, my name is Dennis, and I'm with Parallels. I'll be your presenter today. One other thing that we will not do today is I will not do a formal demo of the solution set. Oftentimes with our service providers, we encounter is that there's some customization for demos that needs to take place. And so if you do have, post this presentation, a desire to see um, a demo, we can set a demo up for you. It's generally anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get a good technical deep dive, and we'll do some homework on your use case so we can cater that presentation specifically to what you're trying to accomplish or what you need to accomplish with a remote access solution such as RAS. So let's just dive right into it. So today I'm going to talk through what we see as the market opportunity, Parallels RAS. I'll also step you through the partner programmatics, meaning what does the business model look like for a service provider under our SPLA, or service provider licensing program, what the value is to you as a business, and then some of the kind of the technical highlights of the product, which we just went through our most recent release really in the beginning of 2020 with 17.1. So I'll talk through some key features that we've added and added specifically for our service provider community and interest. So as you can see from my slide here, really what we see in a direction is really an up and to the right movement and adoption for work. Currently, with our current COVID situation, we've seen quite a bit of demand, high demand for the solution set and interest in how to deploy it across organizations. So it's been challenging for us. It's good, but it's also very challenging and a challenging time for us. But to give you an idea is where we see this overall prior to our current situation was we had a lot of growth forecasted into the future, and we were pretty much on the line of that growth. So one of the things we also want to talk through is just what are the benefits here? What are you seeing? How can you use it? And I think one of the big ones today, we see this market space today, it's continuity of service, able to provide work where work needs to be done or where it has to get done, as the case may be, and reducing costs at the same time. So for us, again, we look at how we can leverage this type of technology to improve workforce productivity and also costs. And so as this builds out, you can see this, and these are really some key drivers for a lot of businesses is increasing that productivity while lowering costs, mitigating risk, while also improving the continuity of service and delivery. So we really try to stay focused around an achievable transformation, because we know that this is kind of a crawl, walk, and run strategy for many organizations, for your customers. They're trying to adopt these technologies. They've got a lot of other things that are happening and the impacts to their organizations and to their workforce. But for us, as we look at it from a lens of you as the partner selling to your customers, we're really focusing on these four concepts, right? It's got to be high value. It needs to be very simple, as well as secure, and also very, very cost effective. Those are kind of the tenets that have driven all of our design efforts into this product and how we've cultivated also the business aspects of the service provider program as an offering to you. But oftentimes with anything, you do see a lot of inhibitors, right? And so as we go up against our competitors, we know that there are quite a few things that limit this. The adoption of technologies such as VDI and or client computing, virtual client computing services. If cost is one, security is the second, right? What does that do to the security fabric of services that I'm offering to customers? And how do you move that through a multitude of different user experiences, vis-a-vis mobile applications, small screens to tablets to workers? And then what is the time it takes with a development, right? So we hear this a lot from independent software vendors. This is another group that we include as part of this this program. What is the time for us to deploy and develop mobilized solutions as an example? How do I take and webify a current solution set that I have that's based on client-server architecture, get it out to a demanding customer base who wants to have it be mobile today? And then the other side of this is it simple to use? Is the user experience and the interface they deal with to access their information or their corporate platforms simple to use? And for us, we really look at this as, again, enabling the technology. Right? The technology's been around for years. So if you think of VDI and the promises of VDI have been discussed well over for better part of 15 years now. And what we've really focused in on is, how do you make that a reality today and to make it as simple as possible, cost perspective as well as deployment. And we focused on these key things. It's web access with HTML5 access on any device. And when we say any device, we mean any mobile client and any Windows or Macintosh type of. Is it secure, and can we reduce cost of the complexity to deploy it? And we do. And one of the other value propositions for us, and this is key for our service provider program, and where we win in the marketplace, is simply by creating a high quality of service that's delivered through you, our partners. And with that, this is what we see from our partners, what their feedback to us is, and why they've chosen to go with Parallels. So we do see this, a great extended customer value, right? It simplifies a lot of the functions, and it enables a very quick and easy solution to be turned up, which gives folks access to information and or productivity almost immediately. I already talked about the user experience, the ability to maintain and deploy. We do have a multi-tenant solution set for service providers who are supporting many customers at one time. How do you do that all within a common infrastructure and across the multitude of different hypervisors and or even hyper-converged solution sets? So we are very much agnostic from those perspectives. We increase the monthly recurring revenue streams within service providers, right? This is a valuable service relative to the cost that we charge to you, but what you charge to the customer. So there's quite a delta between those two costs, which equates to margin to our service providers. And again, this is what we think is a win-win business model. It's modernized, so no upfront costs, no upfront investments in licensing or support. It's strictly a pay-as-you-go program. So this is a wholesale program targeted at service providers who embed this as a service offering amongst the other offerings that you have to to your customers. And again, I mentioned it earlier, we really break this down into two components for our service providers. And on the left, we have the traditional, what we call managed service providers or MSPs, which is also, folks that are evolving from a value-added reseller model. Many of them are reselling cloud today, whether that's in Azure or AWS, Google, or they're created it their own, or they have instances they're wholesaling cloud services a distributor or a white label cloud provider. But again, that's just part of our business. The other part of our services provider program is independent software vendors. These are folks that are out there that are developing solution sets under our client server type of environment or architecture under Windows, who have a need to move to the cloud or to mobilize their applications very quickly. And again, the values, as you'll see over and over again throughout this, it's very, very highly demanding, or I should say highly demanded today, given the current situation that we are in. But it does provide all of these other benefits they have listed here on the right. So let's take a little bit more of a deeper dive into the partner program itself and how we built it for you. And we like to couch this around the concept of a framework to succeeding. It's high value, it's very cost effective, and then what we do to wrap it all up and make it very easy to use and deploy for you is a comprehensive support model around that. So if you're part of our program, you get all three of these benefits just by participating in the program. So when we say it's an easy to use or easy to deploy solution, these are the things that we're really looking at here. Is it simple, right? Single pane of glass. So whether you're managing the solution set, right? It's a simple management console across a multitude of customers. How you set up and manage and do so across platforms that could be deployed on a customer prem or a hybrid solution set between premise and cloud. Doesn't matter. We give you one console to manage that entire solution set across a multitude of customers, regardless of how they've built, architected the solutions that you're helping them manage. It's very flexible. As I said before, we're very agnostic, whether it's from a hypervisor perspective or from a hyper-converged solution set, as well as from agnostic from a client access and thin clients, multitude of solution sets that we have based on customer need or cost to deploy a solution from a service provider perspective. Find it to be very feature rich, meaning that as we've grown, and a little history here for everybody on the call with Parallels. Parallels acquired remote application server content or solution and technology about 4 years ago from a small company called 2X. And as we've evolved the product, we've invested quite a bit in terms of development. So we are now up to over 40 developers working on this solution set and constantly investing and evolving the features of this solution, particularly to our service provider partners. So to that end, as we'll see a little bit later on, with 17.1, we've really improved the multi-factor authentication, the multi-tenancy solution sets, the ability to work within AWS and Azure as well, because we know many of you service providers are either reselling those platforms or installing your customers with a hybrid component of data centers based on their need. And so what that means is for our service providers, it's really an unbeatable TCO. I mean, You look at the dollars and cents to turn up and deploy, to manage, to train your people and to train your customers. It really is a high valuable and low cost. So again, with our solution, as I mentioned before, it doesn't matter how it's deployed. So we like to say that we've really kind of built this solution set, a crawl, walk, or run type of solution that you can take to your customers. It doesn't matter if they're on cloud or somewhere in between. We have a solution set that they can take advantage of, and you can deploy and manage for them. When I talk through, the user experience, just a few of the things that customers are drawn to, and service providers look to solve for customers, whether that's native gestures. So with our tablets, as an example, one of the functionalities that we've continued to evolve over the last iterations of release is how do you make a tablet function much like a mouse and a keyboard do. We have many professions that are mobile, whether they're in the field or whether they're mobile within an environment like healthcare, that are used to working a particular set of applications that are desktop related, but they like the mobility of being able to do so from a tablet. So native gestures to make a keyboard and mouse function like it does on a desktop within tablet environment. We have drag and drop both to and from. We have some AI embedded into how we log in, or how I should say customers are logged in, particularly if you have broadcast or login storms with people coming to work at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning, and creating a bog for the users in terms of gaining access to the systems. Multitasking, printing and scanning is another one that we continue to evolve. It was one of our claims to fame before it was Parallels, when it was 2x, but we continue to evolve those as well. And we also support, as I said, multi-factor authentication and single sign-on as well. So also, it's got to be secure. We all know that. So from a security perspective, all of these benefits that come along with it. You get to centralize security. Many partners are finding that it's a great solution for getting away from and turning down a VPN infrastructure, because it's, again, one more layer to manage. Access profiles and whatnot on VPNs can be challenging to manage centralized, let alone when you're trying to do that and scale it across a multitude of different customers also. And again, so you have good monitoring and control. You can restrict your data access, and you can create specific policies to any user or to any device or both. Staged protocols from an encryption standpoint. So these are not protocols that are brand new or untested. These are staged protocols that we are using to enable security, integrity. And we also do, like I said before, continue to improve on the access to the solution set. So MFA, SAML, and smart card authentications. And again, when we come to just the agility, right, and business continuity, it's a one-stop simple solution. It mix and matches different OSs and different technologies. It's already purposefully built depending on how your customers want to leverage technology, whether or where they're at in the technology migration cycle to the cloud. And again, we're very agnostic. It's easy to deploy, configure, and maintain. And so these are a few things that that stand out with auto config. Again, I've mentioned these before. some centralized management and multi-tenancy. We do have a very robust REST and APIs through PowerShell. So integration into other applications or customized calls and needs to integrate to, say, a vertical, whether that could be, we have several doing this within the healthcare space as well as within finance space for compliance purposes. And then, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You can deploy clients just by setting up a simple wizard. You can also deploy users in very much the same fashion. So between wizard-based and then the auto-provisioning and auto-scaling that we've embedded into to the solution set as well, whether you're in hyperconverged or Azure AWS, are also very helpful from a service provider, particularly if you're encountering customers who have a lot of inquiry like we're experiencing. And this all leads to reduced TCO, or total cost of ownership. It's simple one license model. Don't have a lot of complexity in the system. We continue to drive complexity out of the system to make it simple to use and to manage. No expensive add-ons, and all of this equates to driving down the cost to deploy, train, manage, and use that we're providing. Let's take a look at how we go to market from a licensing perspective and how we frame up licensing. I mentioned it before, Service Provider License Agreement, or SPLA, what it's predicated on, and this is a Microsoft term. It started years ago, so if you're new to Microsoft, it would be equivalent to the Cloud Service Provider, or CSP type of program. But for us, it doesn't matter. We give you a single license key for production, and within that key, you can deploy it across a multitude of different farms. So here you see, in these examples, we have people that are premise-based to hosted-based to public infrastructure as well. And each farm, if you will, or instance for these customers are turned up under the same license key, and this key aggregates the usage throughout the month. So for us, how do we aggregate usage and measure that? Well, we measure utilization of the license key throughout each day. So at the end of the day, there's a small ping out from the licensed server back to us. So it basically phones home over a secure connection, and it tells us what the peak utilization is for that day. We measure from the first of the month to the end of the month. Day of that month with the highest utilization is the quantity that we use to bill against. And so in this instance, sorry, clicked a little too quickly. This summation was 1,430 users or concurrent users for this month of July. That's fed to us and to your My account. In this case, we have tech data, distribution, or you were coming to us. So let's report it out. We also provide, as I mentioned, My Account, so we have a billing portal. And within that billing portal, it's there for two things. One, for you to see what your utilization is day in and day out. Also have many partners that need a detailed solution for billing. So this is something that you can also extend out to accounting teams, et cetera, people who need to prepare bills for customers, or salespeople who need to communicate what's going on to customers based on utilization. But you do have access to that through My Account. And My Account is your portal to integrating with us in terms of viewing what the product is doing. It's also where you can, other key benefits with the solution, we allow you to sub-license this key. So if you want to break the key up for a multitude of different customers, you can do that as well. And you can do that and set a limitation. So if you sold the right to this for customer A and customer A is purchasing the usage for 100 users, create their own separate license key for customer A with 100 users as the max. If 101st user comes in, it sends them a notification to reach back out to you. So we give you complete control of how you operationalize this within your business and how you want to bill it out to your customer. So this is giving you more on the billing portal and some views there. But as I said, it's all based on peak concurrent usage for the month. The other thing is too is we talk about that framework to succeed. We wrap this all around, so your support and maintenance is included. So if you're using our license key within the service provider program, your support and upgrades are included. And also, as you get started, we have a lot of folks that get started with this, trying to figure out how to go to market with it, how to embed it into a particular segment of solutions, meaning software. So it can take some time, right? And so what we find often is partners start slow and build up in terms of utilization. So to that end, we have no commitment. Purely pay-as-you-go licensing model. And so here's the basics of how we bill. If you have a concurrent users from 1 to 500, it starts out at $5 per month per user. And then 501, you can see the breaks all the way up. And yes, we do have that 20,000 to 30,000 break there. We do have customers in that range. So I think if you've heard of us before, oftentimes partners come to us and we have a great many of our partners that are mid to smaller partners supporting customers, but we also do support and can architect very large deployments as well. Again, as I mentioned, comprehensive support. Really focused in around this program to make it as simple as possible. So as I mentioned before, there's no upfront fees or costs to join, and there's no minimum commitments. What we do require is that you fill out a form through our website for the application, and we'll vet you through a simple conversation. Make sure that you understand how the concept of SPLA and CSP as programs, and because there are components of the Microsoft stack that you need to work in conjunction with our solution set. We also ask that you achieve and maintain 2 technical certifications, and those certifications are good for 2 years. And then also, additionally, as we do refer partners to customers, to partners, we ask that you also complete an annual partner profile and keep that up to date. So as leads coming in through our CRM system, that we can direct them to the partner of that's best suited to support that particular lead. Now, additionally, one of the things we didn't really talk through yet is with our solution set is you can also white label our solution. It really is a benefit to being a partner within our SPLA program. So we continue to evolve this, but suffice it to say, if you need to white label a solution for Parallels, you can do so under your own name and branding, meaning you can plug in your own graphics and you can make the entire look and experience as if it were yours, or if your customer needs that for their users, you can also customize it to theirs. So you do include white labeling as part of the solution set, and it's been very beneficial for our partners. We'd love you to advertise for us. but we also know the benefits of having partners in our program is to give you that first and foremost, that look and feel of who you are, your brand. And as I mentioned here, you can see these listed here as other key benefits, right? You do get a dedicated channel partner or channel manager to help you navigate and get up to speed. Um, and pay per usage licensing model with no upfront fees. Training and certification didn't mention, but they are free. So they are web-based solution sets. We do their technical certification training once a month. We do that generally within the first week of every month. And it's a 4-hour course. So you take the course. The course is really designed to help you set up and deploy an instance of RAS. We make it very engaging, so we do know that there are some specific nuances that partners have. We step through that, and then you test out, following up from that and to get your certification complete. So it's training and then testing to get the certification. Once you do have your first customer up and billing, we do provide not for resale license keys. We do provide trial keys up until the point that you do come on board and get your first billing key. So we always have a methodology in play for you to test our solution set with a customer, and all of our trial keys and our NFR keys are fully fully functioning license keys as well. So there's no hindrance of features or benefits to solution sets in the product. So again, these are just some core competencies and capabilities to take away from this, right? Again, it's access from anywhere. With this solution set, we have a very slick HTML5 gateway, so it doesn't matter if they're browser-based. So if, again, we've seen many customers coming up and utilizing this in this day and age over the course of the last 2 months, just because it was quick and easy for people to gain secure remote access to applications and corporate information. And then we've evolved them into more sophisticated client deployments. We work with partners and customers to get those deployed based on their security guidelines as well. So think of multi-factor authentication. Session pre-launch is another good one here, as well as some of the things we've done in the background for single sign-on, as well as API integrations. So it's a very powerful tool in and of itself from where we started to where we are today. But we continue to add features and functionalities to this. They're specifically featured for our service provider partners, such as yourselves. So what are our next steps as I put a wrap on this for everybody? You can certainly schedule a demo with us. Again, like I said, most of the technical demos we customize to your specific use needs, cases and needs, or customer needs that you're trying to solve for. As well as, if you are interested, there is an application form that you can follow this other web link here. Either reach out to us in email with your interest, and we'll get that routed to the appropriate team members to get you the information you needed. If you want to start today, you can just jump straight to Parallels Partners for PSP, fill out the application, and we can also follow up with you. So I don't see anything here in the chat box, so I'll just leave you with a few things here from a standpoint of testimonials from customers and partners as well. And I think you'll find for us, our solution set is really built around making it simple, very profitable, and then supporting the heck out of you on the back end. So if there's 3 things to take away as to why you would look at Parallels as a service provider, it's those 3 things. It's high value, it's not that expensive to deploy, and it's got a really low cost of ownership, and we support the heck out of it, and thereby support the heck out of you, 7 by 24. I hope you found this information useful. I do appreciate you guys attending today. We'll also send this out to you in the form of a PowerPoint slide deck, which will come through your PDF. And this recording will also be made available to you. So with that, I'll bid you a good day. Thank you again for your time, and we'll be talking soon.